Hello everyone, this is going to be the first video in a series of 10 which will be covering the different Dashavatars of Vishnu Bhagwan. And my motivation for creating this series of videos in the coming days is that recently I realized that there are still so many people who are very familiar with the story of Noah's Ark, but they are not aware what the Matsya Avatar signifies and what was the story behind it. And I know that most of the people are aware of the stories of the two avatars, Ram and Krishna, because there are so many popular epics related to them, especially Ramayana and Mahabharata. But other avatars, there are very few people who know well about them. So I hope that through these videos, I'll be able to create some awareness amongst the people about what these avatars signify and also how they signify the complete cycle of evolution as per Hindu mythology, where uh, every age is followed by a cycle of creation and destruction, and how it goes on and on as per the different avatars. So, before I start with the first story, which will cover Matsya Avatar, I would like to briefly talk about what the different Dashavatars are. So, as per the Purans, which are there in Hinduism, the first avatar is the Matsya Avatar. The second one is Kurma. These are animal-based avatar. Even the third one, which is Varaha Avatar, is animal-based. After that, the avatar which comes is Narsimha, which was half animal and half human. Then it was Vaman, which was a human avatar, followed by Ram and Krishna and Buddha. And these are the nine avatars which have been covered till date. And the last avatar is supposed to come when the earth will be close to destruction, which is called Kalki Avatar. And so let me start with the story of Matsya Avatar. So Matsya Avatar starts when King Manu is taking a bath near the river, and a small golden fish jumps onto his hand and tells him to protect the fish, because if the fish stays in the river, then the bigger fishes will eat it. So, taking pity on the little fish, King Manu brings it back to his palace, keeps it in a glass container, and he notices that the fish is growing very fast. So soon he has to transfer it to a bigger container, then to a tub, then to a lake, and finally it becomes so huge that it has to be shifted to the ocean. Once the fish is shifted to the ocean, it thanks King Manu for his kindness and tells him that in a few days there is going to be a huge flood which is going to cover the entire earth with water, and the only way he can escape from it is that if he builds a big ship, and the Matsya Avatar fish will carry him to safety. And the fish also asks him to get the Saptarishi, which were the seven wise rishis at that time in India, so that knowledge is preserved after the destruction of the earth. So the king follows the advice of the Matsya Avatar and creates a big ship, gets the Saptarishi with him on that ship, and he attaches the ship to the fish by through the snake called Sesh on its by attaching it to the big horn on the fish, and then the fish carries all of them to the tip of Himalaya mountains, because the entire earth was submerged in water for many years. The only area which remained over water was the tip of the Himalaya mountains, and that's where the Matsya Avatar left King Manu and the Saptrishis. And when he left them, then he appeared in the Vishnu form, and then he blessed King Manu with the power to create the world again. And he said that he should take help from the Saptarishis for their knowledge, and through the boon given by Vishnu Bhagwan, he should be create the society from scratch, create all the organisms, whether it's plants, animals, humans, and so on. And there are different versions of Matsya Avatar depending on whether you read it in which Matsya Puran or Vishnu Puran or Rig Veda or some other text. In some of these versions, there is a battle scene which signifies the importance of preserving knowledge, where a demon comes, which is called Hiragava, who threatens to take away all the knowledge. And then the Matsya Avatar kills it with it horn and protects the knowledge. And one thing which you would have noticed is that this story is very similar to uh, similar kind of story which we have in different culture. The most popular one being Noah's Ark in the Bible, where Noah creates a big ship and takes different animals into it so that once the flood gets over, he's able to start the world again. And there are similar stories across different cultures. It's there in the Greek culture as well, Egyptian as well, Mayan culture as well. So, which shows that, similar story was passed across the different communities. And there is a lot of debate about which of these stories was the original one. Some people claim Noah's Ark or the Greek one. But in my opinion, considering how old the Puranas, which are the ancient scriptures of Hinduism, are, they predate all the other civilizations. So definitely, in my opinion, Matsya Avatar story, which is part of the Dashavatars covered in the different Puranas, it happens much before it, and it is possible that listening to the Matsya story, that other communities got influenced and created their versions of those stories. I hope you like the story and stay posted because I'll be creating similar stories about the different avatars of Vishnu. Thank you.